Guys, welcome back to DevBees. So today we'll be doing the second part of the WhatsApp tutorial series. So today I'm planning to build the status UI. So here we have already built the chat list UI, that is our first screen of home screen of WhatsApp. So you can check out the complete tutorial of the chat screen in my previous video. So do check that out. And we'll be continuing from that where we stopped. So before we dive in, do like and subscribe to our channel, as we'll be posting more of this content. And let's dive right in. So here we have already our chat screen built up. So I've taken up the main method so you can see that all the IDs and all. So let's go to chat screen. So we'll be navigating to status screen from the chat screen. So we'll go to chat screen, and here when I click the status, it has to go to the status screen. So we need to invoke that function. So let's navigate it. So here we have the status container. See this one. So if I just give a color, you can see that that is the container that I'm talking about. So I'll just give some other color so you can see which the container that I'm talking about. So color, I'll just give a color of, let's say, blue, and let's hit Ctrl S. So as you can see, we have come to the right container. So it's just to show you where inside my code that particular element is at. So we have the blue color here. So this is where we have to give the navigation property. So we'll just delete that. So here we have wrapped the container inside an on tab. So inside this on tab, we are gonna give our navigation functionality. So here we'll be giving navigator dot it's navigator of push name, as we have already given the each screen its own ID. So we'll go with push named, and we'll give, instead of root name here, we'll be giving status ID. So it's status screen ID actually. So let's give that. Status screen dot ID. So what it basically does is as we click on the status, it will go to the status screen. So let's just try that out. It's actually it came as an empty container because inside status screen we have just given an empty container. So instead of container, if I give a scaffold, we have we'll get that white color thing. So let's hit Ctrl S again, and now you can see all the entire screen has become white. So before we move on, I need to show you how to import packages in this screens and apps. So inside our PubSpec, inside the project, so we have our project, and here we have our config file, which is PubSpec YAML. So double click on that, and we'll have to add our packages here. So in order to do that, I'm gonna get my package. So I need to get a dotted border for Flutter. So it's a package actually. There are a lot of packages. You should check out each one of them. So I'll just click on this first one. It's taking a while, I guess. Okay, the latest version of dotted border is 2. So I'll just let it take it as dotted border, and let's see how it is being installed. So these are the installation procedure. So first we need to add the add it as a dependency like this. So instead of adding the version number, I'll be just saying the dotted border only. So it will just fetch the latest version which is compatible with our app from when we run from the net, when we run the pubget. Then we need to import where we want it to. So we want that package in our status screen, so we have to import it there. So we have copied this and we'll paste it after Cupertino icons. So this much is enough actually. It will get the latest version of the dotted border from when I run pubget. So if there are no errors, it will show an exit code of 0. So we have no errors, so it gave us an exit code of 0. So we are good to go. Now we can close this pubspec YAML file, and when we return to the UI part or the application part, we'll get this kind of thing, that is to get dependencies again. So you just have to click on get dependencies and that thing would go. It comes when you edit the pubspec YAML, that is our config file. So for our first content, every screen has this app bar which is the same basically, and it just goes to navigation wise, it is different, and the rest are the same. So we'll just copy paste it from our chat screen, the app bar, the entire app bar. So where is our app bar? Here it is. So I'm just gonna copy this whole thing and I'm just gonna paste it here. Okay, I haven't imported the Cupertino icons in this class, so I'll import that as well. So here are Cupertino icons, Cupertino dot, and now I won't have that error anymore. So if I hit Ctrl S, you will see that same app bar we have seen in the chat screen. So instead of this line coming over under the chats, I want it to be under the status. So let's make that correction. So let's just minimize this side. Okay, we have a border decoration here, so I'm just gonna take this border decoration from this place, cut it, and I'm gonna paste it inside the second one, which is our status. Let's see how it looks. Now the status is selected, so we have a border decoration. Next we need to if we want to go back, we have to go back to the chats, so we'll just give that also here. So navigator dot push named context, and we'll give it as chat screen dot id. Okay, now we have chat screen id. So we'll and we don't need this one here because it's basically in this screen as status screen. So I'm just gonna delete it here and just hit Ctrl S, so it's completed. And if I click on chat screen again, I can go to the chat screen, and if I click status from there, I will get the status screen. So let's dive right into the build. So before that, we need to populate our statuses. So for that, I'll be creating a variable outside of this. So I'll do that first. So a variable, let's say what shall we name? Status list maybe. and it's a dictionary of lists. So let's give it values. So the first index is 0 and the mapped value is a list of the contents inside it. So first content is the name, so let's give then we'll be giving the the image that or the DP daily profile pic. So image, then we'll be giving specifics for the the dotted border, so we'll give that. I'll explain this later while we are using the dotted border, what value is used there and all. So there are two values. So one is basically for the the width, the dash width, and the other is for the space width. Then we have the time. So this is 1 minute ago. Then we have a boolean value which says if it's our status or not. So it's this false value, I'm sorry, it's actually for the if to know if it's the last element of the list of status. So we'll give the rest of it. So I'll just copy paste this and give the values. So instead of 0 I'll be giving 1, and instead of this I'll give another. So these are basically the contact names, these are the images, that is the profile pics. So this image I've gotten from Unsplash. So instead of 3 I'll give 1, and here 0. Sorry, 0. Then I'll give 20 minutes ago, and this I'll leave it as false itself. This is 2. I'll give it 28 minutes. You can actually get you can actually do your own data. I'm just giving it for the sake of a UI. So you can make it dynamic as when you connect to a backend also. And you can even add a lot more or lot less of status list items. So it's basically up to you. I'll give 53 here. This is the tedious part of this. We have to enter all of this data in here. No, we don't need that echo here. Actually, it's PM. Sorry. So we have given the list of status styles. So let's just minimize that, and we'll go on with the construction of the body. So for the body, we'll just string this as well, and we'll start with the body. So body, basically it's going to be our status. So I'm gonna go with when we have no status, so it's 0 status, so we have an add status same, and then we'll have our recent status list where we are going to give all these list items in here. So let's get started. So I'll give the body as a stack. So inside the stack we'll be having children, and the purpose of giving stack is the last child would be coming at the top most and in front of the previous children. So we'll be giving a column first. So I'm using this basically for the purpose of giving 2 additional hovering buttons, that is floating action buttons. So we'll be using custom floating action buttons here. So for that I'm going to use a stack. So here first child is a column, and inside column we have our children as usual. So the first child would be a container. With some padding. I'll give a padding of 10 overall. Then we have a row which is the child and the children of the row. So the first child of the row is a circle avatar. So we have our circle avatar with a radius 30. Let's see how it looks. Okay, we have our circle avatar So next we will be adding our image and all. So first I'll give a background color for that. I'll give a color of transparent. So next I'll be giving the child. So we need to have this let's say I need to have this stack again, because I'll be using this add button also. So stack, so it's like basically coming, the plus button would be above the profile image. So stack, then I have children, which has the first child as a circle avatar, again with a radius of 25 this time. As you might have noticed, the circle of the size has become smaller, and because I've given the color as transparent for the outer one, it seems the overall size has become smaller. So then I'll give a background image here, which is an asset image. I hope this image is there. Okay, let's just check that image is there. Yeah, it's there. I think all images are there. I didn't exclude any images there. So that, let's see how it looks. Now we have our image. Next we are gonna give a positioned widget after the circle avatar. So this position has a child also, which is also a circle avatar, which is quite small, tiny one. And I'll just give let's give the position first. See, it's big, really big, so I have to give the position and etc. before giving this. So I need to be positioned at 30 pixels from the left and 30 from the top. So it's down. Now we need to give our circle avatar some customization. So let's start with a background color. Now we have a green, that WhatsApp green color. We'll give a radius of 10 and let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks better now as a circle itself. So we have a radius of 10, and then we'll give a child, which is a plus button, which is a plus icon actually. So icon is icons.add. With the color of white and a size of 20. Let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks really cool, I guess. So hope you guys have reached up till here. So I'm gonna proceed with the remaining. You can pause the video or play it slower, at a slower rate, to understand and do the code, or you can refer to the entire source code in our GitHub. I've given it in our description. So after this, I'll be giving a sized box. This is outside the circle avatar and the row and all. Actually, it's outside the circle avatar. We'll give a sized box with a width of 20. Then we'll give a column with a cross-axis alignment of start. Sorry. Okay, we have start. Now we'll give the children. So the children would be two text widget. So first text is saying my status. Then we'll give a style, text style. We'll give a font size of 20, color of black. Black is, I guess, the default color also. Then we'll give a font weight, that is making it a bit bolder. So font weight of semi-bold. So we have this font weight dot all these values. So W600 is the semi-bold font. So this. Then we'll give our next text. Which is tap to add status. Here we'll give a style of text style, and we'll give a color of gray, font size of 16, and we'll make it semi-bold as before. Okay, now we have our first column complete. So let's proceed. So we are coming out of the container, the top container which held the row, So next we are adding another container with the width of the entire width of the screen. We'll give a color of gray with a shade of 200. Then we'll give a padding also, edge insets, and inside this I'll give a padding. From left I want 20, from top I want 10, and from bottom again 10. Let's see. So we have our, that container is visible. Then we give the text, which is the child. We are saying recent updates. Here also we need to give a style to the text. So text style, a color of gray with the shade of 600. Let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks good, I guess. Then we have a sized box with a height of 10. And then we are going to call status styles. So the status styles are where we are going to give the entire list view builder. So our the list we created above, this one. So we are going to display all this using status style. So we need to define that class. So before I'll just make it a stateless widget, and we'll give status style tiles actually. So now the error is gone. So I'll just leave it for now because I need to build the hover buttons also. So let's build that. So this is our first child of the stack. So after this we are going to build our column, the floating action button. So it's also in a column fashion with the main axis alignment at end. Then we have our children. First child is a padding. With an edge insets of only. So I want a padding of 20 from the right, then from the bottom I want 10. So let's see how it looks. We can't see anything because I haven't added any visible contents in it. So after that I'll be giving a child, which is a row. So in this row also we are going to give the main axis alignment as end. Then we have our children. So inside this we'll be giving our the icons. So we'll be giving it as containers. Inside containers we can define shapes also for containers like circle and rectangle and all. So container with some padding. I'll give overall padding of 8. And as it should be a perfect circle, we need to give the same height and width. So I'll give a height of 50 and a width of 50 as well. Now we need to give the decoration property, which is a box decoration. And inside that we need to give the shape as box shape circle. So we'll give a circular container. Then next I'll be giving a color. So I'll be giving a blue gray, light shade of blue gray. I'll give the lightest shade possible. Let's see how it looks. Okay, we can see a small this thing here, this container here. Then we'll give a box shadow so it's more visible actually. So we'll give a list of box shadow for that. And inside this I'll give a color which is gray, then an offset of x 0 and y is 3. Then I'll give a blur radius of 3. Let's see how it looks. Now it's more, popped out of the screen. So we'll give the child. First of all, I'll reformat the code. Okay, we'll give the child next. So the child is an image button, image icon. Which has an asset image of images / WhatsApp. So WA is for WhatsApp and pencil. So you can see that that editing status button. So we have that. So we have a first button. Then I'll give a small height. So sized box of height 10. So we'll basically copy paste this whole thing, this container, along with the padding. I think it's out. This size box is outside the row. And the padding, it's outside the row and padding inside the column. So this padding goes here. I'll just copy paste it. Let's see how it looks. So we have two buttons. So I have to adjust the values here. So I need from the right bottom, instead of this I'll give 15. Then I'll give a width and height of 58 instead of 50. Then I'll give a color which is not blue-gray. Instead I'll be giving a color code. It's same as the that add button. So it's bigger. And then we need to give the icon. So instead of this I'll be giving an icon. So icon with icons dot camera, so we can take pictures for our status. So camera alt rounded. Then I'll give a color of white and a size of 26. So we have our hover buttons ready. Just to reformat the code. So we are done with our the outer skeleton. Now we need to add the list tile, that is the status list. So let's move on to that. So instead of a container, I'm gonna return an expanded widget. So it will take up the remaining maximum space available. So the child of expanded would be a list view builder. List view dot separator would be good, I guess. So we have our item builder. Same goes here. I'll just for the time's sake, I'll just give a single I'll just give a empty container for everything for the time's sake, so I can live I can code I can show you the live updates. So this whole thing is going here also. We don't want the item builder, just one from this. Okay, we'll give status list dot length, so I can update I can reload the code without any errors, and you can see what I'm doing. So now we'll be building it. So inside, first we'll go with let's say item builder, which is our main the tile, main status tile. So instead of container, I'll be returning inside a container actually. So inside this container, I'll be giving a padding of edge insets with the surrounding with the surrounding value of 10. Then I'll give a child, which is a row, and it has its children. Now I'll be using our dotted border. So for that, I'll show you how it is. So if you see the readme example, this is how it works. So it has a property called color, it has property called stroke width, then it has a property called child, where around which we are going to draw our dotted border. So there are a lot of different types of dotted borders here. So we have border type and all. So we'll be using I guess we'll be using an oval one, so that we can get the circle kind of status thing. So dotted border, I'll give color. First I'll give a color. So I'll give a color of teal with a shade of 300. It's going to show me an error as we haven't given the child as of now. So after this, we'll be giving the border type. So I'll be using circle border. So border type, dot circle. So we'll give it a circular border. Then we have the radius, which is, I'll just give radius dot circular of 27. Then we'll give the dash pattern. So this dash pattern is a list of doubles, I guess. Yeah, it's a list of doubles. So if we see in this, we have the dash pattern here. So if it's 6, 3, 2, 3, it's gonna give 6 pixel wide dash, then a 3 pixel wide space. So it's like alternating dashes and this space. So dash space dash space. So for that purpose, we are going to use our the values I have given at the end, towards the end of this list. So these values we are going to make use of when we are going to give dashes and spaces. So the first value, this one would be determining the dash width, and this one would be determining our space width. So let's do that. So dash pattern, so I'll be dividing the dash pattern actually. So the entire radius, entire circumference would be 2 pi and 2 pi r, so 2 pi into 27. So I'll give a division, so slash our status list dot values dot element at index itself, so it's the 0th element, and again element at second position. So we have our first one, that is our dash. Now we need to give our space, so we'll give status list dot values of element at index itself, and again we'll be taking the element because it's a list. We got the first list, we got the list at the index, then we'll give here, instead of index we'll give element at 3. So that's how our pattern would go. So it's that border ends. Then we'll be giving a stroke width, so we are going to go out of this and we'll give a stroke width of 3. Next we'll be giving our child, which is a circle avatar. So let's just hit Ctrl S to see how it looks. So we have a small circle avatar with these kind of this border and with dashes and spaces. So we'll give a radius of the circular avatar as 27 itself, and the background color as transparent. Then we again give a child, which is also a circle avatar. So it's basically like what we did above, that is this one here. So instead of this, we are going to give a small spacing between the border and the image. So here we'll be giving a circle avatar again with a radius of 25. Just hit Ctrl S, so it's bigger. Then we'll have a background image of asset image, and we'll have the image at values from the status list. So status list dot values dot element at index dot element at, and we'll be giving the first, so actually one, it's the second. So let's see how it looks. Okay, now we have our images being loaded. Then we'll give a sized box after that, with a width of 20, then a column. So we are going to give the name and the time. So we'll give the cross axis alignment a start, so it has the same starting position. It has it aligns in the same level. Then we have the children, chart text. Then we are gonna give, so text takes in the string characters, so we need to give this dollar simple, so it takes the value of whatever variable we are going to give inside these curly braces. So we are gonna give a big expression, so status list dot element values dot element at index dot element at again, so we can get access to the list elements. And we'll be giving element at 0, so it's the name basically. So now we'll give a style. So before that, let's see how it looks. Okay, the name has come. Now we'll be giving the style as text style with a color of black, font size of 20, and a font weight of semi-bold. Okay, it has become a bit more bigger. Now we are going to give again another text widget. So I'll just copy paste this. So in here I'll be giving, instead of the element at 0, I'll be giving element at 4, so it's basically the time. Then I'll give a color of gray instead of black, and the font size 16, and let's see how it looks. So now we have the time also. Next we are going to build our separator builder here. So we have completed our item builder, so we'll just shrink the code. So inside separator builder we are going to return the element values, which is the last values. So there are two conditions. If it is the last element, we are just going to give an empty sized box, else we are going to give a small divider. So let's give that. So before this we are checking a condition. So status list dot values dot element at index dot again element at last index, I guess it's 5. So if this is true, I guess the last one is true instead of false. I think I mentioned it as false, so this is true actually. If this is the case, we just want a small sized box of height, let's say 20, else we want a divider. So as you can see, we have our divider. So we'll just make the divider a bit more the end indent and the begin indent and all, we'll just make it a bit more customized. So indent, which is the end, which is the begin starting indent, so it just leaves whatever space I'm giving here, it leaves that much space from the start before starting the divider. So we'll give 0.2%, 0.2 of the width, so that is 20%. Then an end indent, we can just press Ctrl D and change the value accordingly. Instead of indent, we'll give end indent. Then we'll give a color of gray. Next, we'll be giving a thickness of 1, and let's see how it looks. Okay, now it's more defining divider, so you can see the divider clearly. So that's it. So we have completed our status screen. So we'll be adding more functionalities as we proceed to the next screens. So that's 2 out of 4 parts. So hope you guys enjoyed. Do like and subscribe to our channel and keep supporting us, guys. And please check out all our tutorial videos so you can build all the UIs you have been dreaming of, and you can get a better chance at doing complex UIs. So that's all for today. Kudos.